Thank you, Bill. Thank you for organizing today's event, and thank you for the regular breakfast that you've made a Nepean Carleton tradition. Good job. And I want to say it was a great honor to present Bill's wife, Sue, with a Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal recently. Very deserving. She is a home-based child care provider and has been for roughly 2 decades. She has raised, during that time, through her program, 50 different children, including Bill. Speaking of children, I remember when I knocked on Bill's door for the very first time. I was 24 years old. It was back in 2003 or 4, and his daughter, who's here today, Jessica, answered the door, and I can give her an applause as well. And she said, "Dad, there's someone at the door to see you." And he said, "Who is it?" She said, "I don't know, some kid." And Bill said, "Tell him we don't have any extra bottles to donate." So that was how we first became acquainted. And we also have Lena Hillock here, who is just a recipient of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. Congratulations to her. And of course, our riding president is here as well, Liz McKinnon, who has done a terrific job and is serving us very well. It's great to have Peter Kent here, someone with his background. As he mentioned earlier, he was a CBC reporter, and now he's in the Conservative Caucus, which goes to prove the great Christian hymn of Amazing Grace that shows that anybody can be redeemed in this world, no matter what they've done in the past. Joking aside, it was great to be at an event in his riding about 2 years ago where a very large synagogue had an entire dinner dedicated to thanking him for his work on behalf of the Thornhill community. And there were 700 people roughly there to honor him. And at the outset, they showed an amazing video of his career. And it is an incredible span that he has served people through journalism and now through politics. It went right back to literally the Vietnam War. They showed live footage of him standing in front of a firefight between American soldiers and Viet Cong with explosions and fire going off in the background. And there he was with his horn-rimmed glasses on, looking young and handsome, just like he does today. And it just demonstrated for me the enormous span of career that he has enjoyed. And we're very blessed that he has taken the many skills and talents that he accumulated over that time period and applied them to the service of the Canadian people in our Conservative Caucus and Cabinet. And we're very pleased to have you on our team, Minister Kent. He has been part of a team of Conservatives who went into Toronto during a time when there were no Conservatives in Toronto. And his strategy was very simple. Turn small c Conservatives into big C Conservatives. People who had pre-existing conservative values. Immigrants who came to Canada for freedom, not freebies, and who wanted to enjoy the same opportunities as everyone else in this land, and who inherently believed in the same things we do. Those are the people that Peter went and met with thousands of times on door-to-door job interviews. And he shared with them our conservative values of hard work, self-reliance, law and order, and patriotism. And he found that those people already held those values. They just needed to know that they could be at home in our party. He made them at home, and he passed those job interviews and now has the job to serve the people of Thornhill and the broader Toronto community. So Minister Kent, we celebrate the great work that you're doing. We look forward to working with you. I pray that you're able to have more success with the the Keystone Pipeline and other major projects that are not only good for our economy, but good for the global environment. We have, with regards to the Keystone Pipeline, due to the fact that we cannot get our oil to Tidewater, we are receiving about $20 less per barrel of oil than the rest of the world receives. And with the radical anti-development movement led by the NDP is trying to do is wrap a boa constrictor around the oil sands to starve off circulation and prevent the hundreds of thousands of people who work in that industry from earning a living and paying into our social safety net through their taxes. And at the same time, the only effect that they will have is to ensure that instead of buying secure, environmentally responsible Canadian petroleum, Americans will have to continue to rely on oil from enemy states who have a history of sponsoring terrorism and whose environmental standards are far more lax than are ours. So they defeat all of their stated purposes in a manner that I find hypocritical and very disappointing. So the work that Peter Kent is doing to advance this oil sands pipeline down to Texas, to advance other methods of getting our natural resources to market is extremely important, and I thank him for that work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for questions and answers.